Joining us for a conversation is Gregory Beischer, the CEO of Millrock Resources. Mr. Beischer, welcome to the show, sir.
Hi, Maurice. Good to be with you again.
Always a pleasure to have you join us as Millrock Resources has some important updates for shareholders. Before we begin, please introduce us to Millrock Resources and the opportunity the company presents to shareholders.
Well, of course, Maurice, as you well know, Millrock is a prolific project generator style exploration company. We have numerous projects, and we always bring in partners to fund the exploration on the projects, and we give up a part of our interest along the way in return for that exploration funding. The Alaska field season's upon us. As you know, Alaska is one of our main focus areas, and we're anxious to get going at this point.
When we last spoke, Millrock Resources announced a 30% earning option with Resolution Minerals on the 64 North project, which is just a massive 66,000 hectare project surrounding the Pogo mine. And also in that interview, Millrock announced a new strategic alliance with Felix Gold. Let's find out the latest developments on the projects, beginning with the former.
Yeah, these are great developments, Maurice. As you know, Resolution contributed over $5 million towards exploration last year at 64 North near Pogo. We drilled quite a series of holes. The results weren't as good as we'd hoped, but Resolution is back. They're doing the work now. They've already drilled the first set of holes in March on a target they call Sunrise, just to the west of the Pogo mine. Different style mineralization. We exposed it at surface in a drill road cut. Low grade, but widely disseminated pervasive gold mineralization, sort of intrusion hosted style mineralization, maybe more reminiscent of what one would see at the Fort Knox gold mine further north near Fairbanks. So they drilled a series of rotary air blast holes to confirm what had been observed at surface, and we anticipate that they'll publish those results sometime in the very near future. At the same time, they're mounting the next drilling program, this time to the east of the Pogo mine, where we developed some excellent prospects last year, gold prospects. And they'll use a heliportable reverse circulation drill to test it at this location. So that's meant to start in early June. So there'll be some pretty continuous news flow coming out of that project over the next couple of months.
What has the relationship been this far with the assays as far as results turnaround time?
As far as I know, at this stage, they're coming through in a reasonable time frame of a few weeks, though it's a perennial problem in Alaska and elsewhere. As the summer field season ramps up, then the labs get bogged down, and it just takes longer. So we're hopeful that at least the first round of drilling that Resolution's done at 64 North will come quite quickly.
Leaving the 64 North, Millrock successfully completed a financing in March and has deployed some of that capital into property acquisitions in Fairbanks. Multi-layered question. What has Millrock's attention in Fairbanks, and where are the acquisitions in relation to Free Gold Ventures?
Yeah, sure will. You know, we raised several million Canadian dollars, and we are deploying that cash to acquire and develop new projects all over the state of Alaska, in fact. But we've focused over the last year on the Fairbanks Gold District. And I think you're going to find, Maurice, that the Fairbanks District really emerges as a very, very prolific gold district on the scale, perhaps, of Red Lake, Ontario, or Val-d'Or, Quebec. There's probably 13 million ounces of gold have been mined so far in the district. Kinross's flagship mine, the Fort Knox gold mine, is there. But there's also been some new discoveries, one in particular made by Free Gold Ventures. Millrock's been very busy, though, staking up and making agreements with prospectors and other exploration companies to consolidate a land position in the Fairbanks district. We've been quite successful at that. And we've done it through an alliance with Felix Gold, a Australian private company that's meant to go public sometime in the fairly near future. Millrock will be a significant shareholder of that company, and that's how we intend to reward our shareholders in turn by monetizing those shares after a discovery is being made. Additionally, we retain royalty interests on all the properties that we presently hold in Fairbanks and more that we're securing as we speak now.
Good business acumen there. What type of work is being done, and what do you intend to have completed by the end of the year?
You bet. We're doing first, right now, we're just completing sort of a massive dive into all the existing data that we possessed and that others possessed for the district, sort of analyzing the district in a holistic sense using all the data sets that we can possibly pull together and selecting our best spots. Fortunately, some of those best spots are on claims that we already own and then on others that we're pursuing. But in terms of field work, there's a lot of data gaps. We're going to be doing a lot of soil sampling early in the season. And as soon as we secure drill permits, then we're going to get going on drilling. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is two recent acquisitions within the Fairbanks district. One was the Grant Mine, and so this is a former producing high-grade underground mine that produce high-grade gold. There's an existing historic estimate or resource known to exist there. We've looked at data and we can see that it's going to be expanded through further drilling. And so that's where we're going to start. The Grant Mine is a property within the overall Esther Dome project, which in itself is in the even larger Fairbanks District project, a joint Millrock Felix operation. So, assuming that our permit application is approved, we'll be drilling likely in June at Grant Mine, Esther Dome, and then we'll move on to our Treasure Creek project, a little to the east and closer to Free Gold Ventures. And I think you're going to be hearing more and more about Free Gold over the coming months, Maurice. We think they're on to something pretty significant. Millrock's claims are well positioned nearby, and we see very similar geology, very similar signs of mineralization, and we think that we have the opportunity to recreate that success. Must give Free Gold full credit. Their shares were less than 10 cents just over a year ago. They've made some great drill holes and have rewarded their shareholders, peaking at around $1.70 a share, now back to around 70 cents. But I think that Millrock and Felix combined team will be able to make some great discoveries at Fairbanks.
Speaking of expansion, Millrock has an expansive property bank with projects in Alaska, British Columbia, and Mexico. Are there any developments in Mexico that you can share with us?
Sure. Yep. I can't really share them yet, but we're closing in on deals with funding partners on one of our long-standing projects, the Batamote Porphyry Copper Project, very nicely situated in what I call elephant country, directly in between the fantastic world-class deposits of Cananea and La Caridad. And we think we're on to something similar there. And reviving one of our gold projects. Things have been pretty quiet for us in Sonora, Mexico, but these two projects are two that we've kept. And now, all of a sudden, with the change in the market, we have funding partners coming for them. So we're quite anxious to get going there too.
Switching gears, let's look at some numbers. Mr. Beischer, what is the current capital structure for Millrock Resources?
Yeah, we have close to 150 million shares out at this point, and it's trading at around 10 cents, so a $15 million market cap right now, Maurice. We have warrants that will expire at the end of the year, and so there's quite a few of those, and so we're going to be doing everything in our power to make sure our share price goes well above 20 cents, and we get those warrants exercised and more money in our treasury to develop yet further projects. And I don't think that's at all an unreasonable task. If we just have a little bit of exploration success in this market, our share price should move up nicely.
And speaking of that share price, we have been active buyers recently for Millrock, on Millrock Resources, I should say. We like the value proposition. I think it's a great buying opportunity right now. We leave that to your discretion. But Mr. Beischer, before we leave, what would you like to say to shareholders?
Well, I think everything's been consolidating. I keep reading about metals super cycle, but the gold price, which seems to drive so much, has been consolidating. It kind of feels to me like it's ready to move up again, and a surging gold price in a hot market and an Alaska summer field season. That's a recipe for success.
It certainly is. Mr. Beischer, if investors want to get more information on Millrock Resources, please share the contact details.
Sure, you can call Melanie Henderson. You can get the phone number simply by Googling Millrock Resources, and you'll get all the contact information you need.
Mr. Beischer, always a pleasure to speak with you. Wishing you and Millrock Resources the absolute best, sir.
Thank you very much, Maurice, and thank you for your investment in our company.
Always, sir.
The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.